Hey there everyone, it's Rome and I hope you're all having a great day wherever you are watching this. Today is going to be a very special day today for us and the channel as we are going to be taking a significant risk today. I'm just fucking with y'all, my fault. What's up everybody? When I was making this video and thinking about making this video, I just thought of like the review channels that I watch and stuff like that have like a British accent on the videos. And, hello everyone, how are you doing today? We are going to be, but nah. What's up everybody? Hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are watching this, whatever day it is, whatever time of the year, however many years later. If this is still up, YouTube's still a thing. You go through my channel's content. If you've been following me, Lil Rome, KB, Kiwi Bomber, any of that over the past few years, or various content escapades since like 2017, you notice a variety of different content, types of different games we play. We play whatever and whenever. If we enjoy it, we're going to play it. If we don't, we won't play it. I mean, if we didn't like something, we won't make content on it. But for like the last few months, man, 2025 has been a rough, dry year for me personally.
Look.
Kind of stuck out of ideas in terms of creativity and stuff like that. Kind of just drained me of energy. I've been drained. But I wanted to make something unique and fresh and challenging for me to do, and also something unique and fresh for you guys that you guys can enjoy. Something that I haven't done before in my channel's lifespan. Instead of trying to like make something like short form and trendy and quick like I normally do, and like I was transitioning to with my short form content, especially with the TikToks and YouTube shorts. Today I'm going to be doing something, I guess, like seen as a shot in the dark, something I've never done. I'd like to create something that's like the ultimate expression of genuinity and care that I can show you guys. But we're going to be talking about The Last of Us. So as many of you clicked on the video, many of you know The Last of Us is talked about as one of the greatest games of all time. Well, to me personally, The Last of Us is my personal favorite game of all time. In my humble opinion, it's one of the greatest gaming stories put out. It's really a masterpiece in storytelling. Just almost as if like a cinematic experience is at the mercy of your decisions and mistakes, or rather mistakes that the characters that you're playing as make, and the ones that you learn to care about and actually love for over the span of this 20-hour gameplay. Like, the first game is not long whatsoever, but it definitely leaves you with the feeling of righteousness in your decisions, at least your character's decisions. And then definitely wanting for so much more to a relationship that so much was lost for after a brutal cliffhanger to literally one of the best games of all time. With that little mini description of this beautiful game being said, I'd like to talk about
What about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
Who's there?
I said get up.
No.
Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. Please.
Starting the game. Our main character, Joel Miller, comes into the scene and he receives a gift from his daughter as it is his birthday today. See, now I want you to remember that. It is very significant for him as is this gift that he receives in both an intertwined way, which is some of the best writing shown early on in the game that will be built upon later. The gift, though, that he receives from his daughter Sarah is a wristwatch. And after the gift is given, Sarah goes to sleep, but wakes up later to some confusion. and you're also playing as Sarah. You search and investigate the house as Sarah for Joel, as everything does not seem right. Something's clearly wrong, and you need to find Joel. Also, a quick side note, I like to find it very nice about some of the little Easter eggs that are placed around the house early, such as like the newspaper in the bathroom. It talks about crops and the infections. Some cases are already rising. Also, the guitar shown on the first floor shows Joel's love for playing, which comes on a major play later in the second game, as you have like this whole like guitar mini game and stuff like that. Joel teaches Ellie how to play guitar. So I think it's pretty cool that both of these are like little Easter eggs to the overall story and stuff like that. As you continue to search for Joel, you find him rushing back into the house from the backyard in a panic, and now the game is starting to kick off. The neighbor who is infected is attempting to break into the house following Joel, and eventually the neighbor does. So Joel does what he has to do to protect his daughter, showing he is willing to. Joel is willing to take a life in order to protect the ones he cares for. We know that. As the chaos begins, Joel and Sarah leave the house, and we also meet another important character to all the greatness here. It is Joel's little brother, Tommy Miller. So you all rush to the car, and which is actually really cool here. One of my favorite aspects of the game is as you get in the car, you are still able to control Sarah in the backseat of the vehicle. As you are riding through the town and the city, looking to get to safety, wherever that may be. I just remember being a kid and thinking how cool it is that I'm still able to control Sarah in this moment and actually use like the left stick and right stick to look around and all the environments and scenarios that were going on is kind of amazing. All this stuff is loading up in real time. The family we're passing, the barn on fire. It's honestly great work for the PS3. A lot of people like to talk about how The Last of Us Part 2 pushed the PS4 at the end of the PS4's life cycle to the limit. But honestly, I believe The Last of Us Part 1 also did the same. I think it's because we've seen this game already be remastered or remade like 3 times since its initial release. We haven't had the time to like let it sit on that PS3, and I mean it's been so long since that came out. But as we make it to the city, we realize that our characters have not a clue of what is happening, and that actually no one does. It's total utter chaos in the streets. Civilians are fleeing from infected, running the streets and attacking. We get into an accident trying to flee this chaos, and this accident is kind of the transition. So finally, we get to take over as Joel. But in the car accident, our daughter Sarah broke her leg, and Joel actually needs to carry her for safety. So you take control of Joel, and you are carrying his daughter to safety while Tommy is trying to assist in any way he can. Like for this just to be like the first 30 minutes, 20 minutes of the game, this is, I mean, I think it's actually the first 10. But it's all just a lot going on, and it's being told masterfully. Joel carries her to safety through the madness, and Tommy doing everything he can to protect his niece and his brother. So when you think you finally made it, and Joel does everything to protect his daughter, his bloodline, his everything, the game actually rips you apart, as it does our main character.
We're safe. Hey, we need help.
Stop!
Please. It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians in the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Listen, buddy, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Oh no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, 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 please. Please, please, please don't. Please.
Now, there genuinely isn't a time where I played this section, this sequence, and I haven't gotten chills, shed a tear. Joel pleading for the guard to show some mercy, compassion. His daughter's whimpers, and she's obviously not making it. Blood's coming from her nose. Not looking good. But so when I got into this, and I mean, first 15 minutes, your character daughter gets shot while you're holding her. I mean, man, this story really just speaks on what like loss of humanity can do to a man, and let alone a person. What it possibly could take regaining that humanity. How loss can make you do things that will haunt you forever. And even again, playing in adulthood, you really start to realize through all of this, no man is perfect at all. And men are just men. But if you really remember how we started this section, we're back to the brutal writing. The writing's masterpieceful. Is that a word? Masterpieceful? The writing's great. The writing's phenomenal. But it's brutal. And that's what makes it great. So when Joel was shot at by the guard whilst holding his daughter Sarah, she was struck and killed. And if you remember, today is his birthday. So Sarah, his daughter, died on the day of his birth. And the bullet that hit Joel didn't hit Joel. It hit the gift that his daughter gave him, the watch. And when the watch was hit, watch stopped exactly forever on the time she left the world. So the time the watch stopped is the time of Sarah's death. And that's also the date of his birth, the day of the outbreak. And it's just he loses his daughter. The world goes to hell. His world goes to hell. The whole world goes to hell. And I mean, I just couldn't believe what I was really witnessing as a kid. And looking back on it now as an adult, it's just some of the greatest writing that I've seen. Having a little bit more of a media literacy, a little bit more understanding and stuff like that in terms of media. But yeah, this is just some of the most brutal writing in anything we've seen. I know I said I wanted to speak on my favorite parts of the game, and I think the intro is top tier. I don't think most games could top that. It's not like this giant phenomenal action scene that looks amazing and it's just shocker, like just mouth drawn open. It's just really, really, really brutal. Just really, really brutal. And I think that's what makes this a masterpiece. I just really want to reiterate how tragic this last part really is. The tragedy that sets with our player, our character, the gifts and dates. I just want you. This isn't a good world. There's not good people here. This isn't an easy world. This isn't a good world. The Last of Us is of heartbreak. The Last of Us is of sorrow. And Outbreak Day, especially for Joel Miller, was rough. And because of that, it initially leads to the shell of man that we see. Now, I know you've seen the intro before, but once again, the very dark and horrific circumstances leads us to the Joel Miller we end up seeing 20 years later. A man who's become a former shell of himself, just a man who's withered away with the world suffering, but surviving however he can with whatever means he chooses. As we know, his care for humanity and empathy all led to him now 20 years ago with Sarah when she left this world. Joel Miller's now a smuggler with his partner, Tess, who we all know she is pretty much a goated for a little time given. Tess and Joel are like Kobe and Shaq, Brown and Wade, Tom Brady in football, if you may. Just a crazy and formidable duo in their smuggling adventures that we don't actually see too much of, but they made it this far, so they got to be goated. So as you begin the game, you're just tasked with finding someone who owes you a debt, and through this task, you and Tess go throughout the city, and basically getting a tutorial on the game mechanics and teamwork mechanics that are a pretty big function throughout the game and the sequel. You have your initial run with infected, NPC bad guys, yada yada yada. But you finally catch up to the guy who owes you your debt, and you end up whacking the guy. Kaboom, kabam, you're gone. You have a run-in with what the world calls the Queen Firefly, Marlene, my chocolate queen.
Queen Firefly.
What's up, baby?
Why are you here? Business. You aren't looking so hot.
She's the leader of a terrorist organization fighting against Fedra, the equally corrupt remnants of a governmental control that's inside the quarantine zone. Fireflies are outside, corrupt, terrorists, blah, blah, blah. Fedra, inside the walls, corrupt, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the guy that we whacked, he gave the guns that he owes us to her in a backwards deal. But what she's saying is that she can give us back the guns in another deal. But we just have to smuggle something.
Come on now. Get on up.
Fuck away from her!
Hey! Let her go.
Well, you're recruiting kind of young, aren't you?
She's not one of mine.
Oh, shit. What happened?
Don't worry, this is fixable.
All right, so that's basically enough. Kind of enough with the freaking little rundown. Enough of intros and stuff like that. We are straight going to dive into the beauty of some of my favorite scenes in this game that makes the game a masterpiece. So sit back, relax. I hope you guys got it. Let's get it.
Okay, Joel, you take point. I'll watch the
So now we're finally going to get into the meat and potatoes of the story. I hope I gave you a nice rundown of the characters we're going to be with for the next 10 to 15 hours of gameplay. And for some people, the next decade, depending on how often and how many times you play the game, you know what I mean? The relationship between Joel, our main character, and Ellie, the child we have to protect and smuggle for humanity. That's correct. She's immune, and we're going to smuggle her for our guns back. But we got to take her to the Capitol building for the drop-off. Just so we know, by the way, I'm going to state this right now. We are in Boston. When the game starts, in the 20 years later section, we are in Boston. The world looks phenomenal. It all looks great on the PS5 Edition. But we travel past guards and infected just so we can get to the Capitol building. We pass through skyscrapers, big old bastards that are honestly like a staple of the game's early on section, a big part of the game. As we are going through the skyscrapers, Tess and Ellie get separated from Joel for a short moment, but by the time Joel reunites with them, we have to think quick, we have to move fast because they are in trouble as they have a run-in with the infected. So Joel comes in the room, he attempts to save Tess, and he does so Ellie. So as we finally exit the skyscrapers, another beautifully written shot and moment that I like, that rivals the intro of the game that makes this game a masterpiece. It's just a great shot if we really got to break it down. So as we finally exit the skyscrapers, we get another significant moment that I believe makes The Last of Us a masterpiece. His partner Tess got bit in the skyscrapers and she's actually not immune at all. I always like to think it's a kind of a headcanon that you can see Tess being bit, or at least her pushing off the zombie kind of the last second before Joel fully enters the room. But either way, Tess is now bit and we're looking at the drop off point. We see it off in the distance. So this scene here has Ellie and Joel in it first, and then we see Tess off in the background, faded out. So first playthrough, this isn't really nothing big, but after my 20th or so and playing it as a 25-year-old man with a little bit more media literacy and obviously having a little bit more attention to details, I believe this is some of the best work in the game. The scene starts with Joel having Ellie taking the lead across the roof, showing that she is now going to be taking #1 priority, or taking the front seat here on out in terms of Joel's life, priorities, stuff like that. Because as mentioned earlier, Tess is out of focus in the background as she is now infected and her part in this story is now fading to an end. And even instead of going second, Tess, Joel goes second across the bridge, across the ladder. And he goes to Ellie. He doesn't even look back or check on Tess, making sure that she crosses over to the rooftop safely. I know if he made it across, Ellie made it across, then the ladder's stable. But Joe has shown to care more for Tess. They are more than smuggling partners. They're actual partners in life. Definitely a little bit more romance there. It's kind of on the lower side because they're both survivors, dark survivors in this grungy world. But Ellie goes over and she stares off into the Golden Top Capitol building. And when Joel makes it across, he just asks Ellie one question.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out.
Another thing that makes me come to the conclusion that this is another early step in what makes this story a masterpiece is that this shot of only Joel and Ellie facing the horizon after they cross the ladder bridge, shoulder to shoulder, it just kind of shows where the relationship will go from here. And the shot is only interrupted when Tess, who's infected, pans through the camera, breaking through the shot, advising them to move on as her time is now running out. This isn't a crazy moment, obviously, to show that Joel cares immensely for Ellie, but definitely just one of the better pieces of writing and storytelling. And I just want to give my props to Annie Wershing because what follows here is some of the best acting in the game. It's just a really strong, powerful back and forth with Joel. I'm going to say she killed it, and I'm giving my flowers. Shout out to Annie. Annie Wershing, Tess, she's only in the game for a few hours, but she is definitely a strong player.
I can't swim.
No. No, no, no.
What happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As
this?
far as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She only mentioned that it was someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us? About me?
I know that you are smarter than this.
Really? Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess!
Joel,
Let me see it.
I didn't mean for this.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No. That was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look, there's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's.
Eventually, we're making it into Billstown, and man, oh man, oh man. I just want to say Bill is one of the coolest characters in gaming. Bill is sick. He's great. The bickering between Ellie and Bill throughout this chapter is great, honestly. Some great dialogue between the two.
Bill, you done? Am I done? You come into my house, you set off all my traps, you damn near break my shooting arm. Who the fuck is this punk and what's she doing here?
I am none of your goddamn business, and we're here because you owe Joel some favors. And you can start by taking these off.
I owe Joel some favors. Is some kind of joke? Yeah, sure, Joel. Go ahead. Take my card. Take all my food, too, while you're at it.
By the looks of it, you could lose some of that food.
You listen to me, you little shit.
No, fuck you! You handcuffed me.
I need you to shut up. It is just like that. Hey! What'd I say to you when we walked down the steps? What'd I say?
I'm just fixing your stupid pile.
Don't touch.
And I know that it's nothing really, but I like to think in my own headcanon that Joel's light defense of Ellie when Bill snaps at her at times throughout this section is that Joe can care and even defend her at times. But it's mainly somewhat for de-escalation, just so they can get to where they got to and do what they got to do. It's not going to help if Ellie's fighting with Bill the whole time. But I do like to think that he is mainly looking out for her, just because Bill's a grown-ass man and be yelling at her and shit, you know what I mean? But also, the great thing about this section is it shows that Bill and Joel are two sides of the same coin. And depending on circumstances, they could have easily been one or the other. And that's kind of really it. I'm going to talk about Billstown. It may be hard to say, but he's probably my favorite side character in the entire series. This entire chapter is really just great fun, great dialogue and scenes that still show death and pain that can occur in the world of The Last of Us. Even though it's just racked up as a quote-unquote pointless action section in the game. But before moving on, I'd like to point out how the irony of Bill speaking ill of Tess, even though he doesn't know she's deceased. Bill doesn't know that she's dead. Joel doesn't talk about it. But it's crazy how he's talking ill of her, and then as soon as he is doing that, we walk right into his deceased partner, and he has partner Frank. Just some great writing.
Bill, somebody had the same idea. They stole my shit. Well, then what the hell is plan B? You ought to be thankful you're still drawing breath. That was plan A, B, C, all the way to fucking Z. And furthermore, tell Tess that she could take this job. Don't you bring Tess into this. Shove it right up. Nothing to do with. Jesus. What, you know this guy or something? Frank. Who the hell's Frank? He was my partner.
If you didn't, if you really just didn't pay attention to the game and if you were only playing to kill zombies, and that's about it, then you obviously didn't know that Frank was Bill's partner. But if you played the game and picked up at least one or two notes and listened to dialogue, then you obviously knew that Bill and Frank were together a little bit more than just survival. But man, this is just some of the greatest writing here because it shows us how cold-blooded Bill is. You know, he's still hurt by Frank, but he plays it off like he's a cold bastard, just like Joel.
So that's how you feel. Well, fuck you too, Frank. Fucking idiot. You ready to go?
Now the next section is going to be short and quick, but I think this shows just how much Joel is starting to grow care for Ellie. We got a car from Bill and we crossed a couple state lines, and now randomly a man stumbles onto the road who claims to be hurt, resulting in the world seeing how cold this man, Joe Miller, can be.
Holy shit. Are we gonna help him?
Put your seatbelt on, Ellie.
Well, what about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
Okay.
Joel then begins to fight for his life, and an ambush ensues. Every time I get here, I like to believe that the guy that backhanded Ellie got exactly what he deserved when he landed the hit in front of Joel. Like, the guy who got cut up in the fridge was a bad kill, but this guy right here who slaps the shit out of Ellie, it almost feels personal for Joel. And even the player, as you've been controlling Joel, protecting Ellie for hours of gameplay at this point. You control Joel as he runs up and he demolishes the guy. He doesn't really do too many people in this manner throughout the game, and now that I'm typing this out, reading the script, I actually realize he only does people like this when it comes to Ellie. And just so we know, we'll have a quick thought section for the first season of the show at the end of the video, as the second one should be releasing within a few days after this video releases. So if you want to hear my thoughts to the TV show adaptation of the game, then stick to the end. Anyways, I actually believe that Joel kicking the guy, dragging him by his neck and smashing his face against the shelf is brutal, but it shows what he's willing to do to protect Ellie. He saved her. Not the first time he does by any means, but he does. And now we are stuck in Hunter territory, and this is basically just waves of enemies, waves and waves and waves of enemies.
Down there.
After you fight your way through Hunter territory, you have to pass through this hotel, which just so happens to be our luck. It's the Hunter main hideout. So more waves of enemies, yes sir, more action. Joel's a monster, he's a superhero. Making our way through the hotel, we accidentally fall from an elevator shaft and got separated from Ellie.
I'm alright. Are you okay?
No! You scared the shit out of me! I'm gonna climb down there, okay?
No! Stay out there. I'll make my way up to you.
So we handle some infected in the basement of the hotel, and as we're making our way back to Ellie, we're climbing up a ladder, and suddenly...
I shot the hell out of that guy, huh?
Yeah, you sure did.
Yep, that is correct. Our superhero gets caught off guard and is actually put on the back end, but he's actually cooked right now. But thank God, the best kid who doesn't listen came down to see what was taking him so long. She now repays the favor, and if you're keeping track in terms of actual life-saving events, Joel and Ellie are now 1-1. But here we actually see Ellie get her first kill that we know of. It's a quick headshot, fast, emotionless. And if you really start to think about it, Ellie's body count before the second game even begins, it's already quite high throughout this one. One thing that makes the dynamic so great is that Joel has treated Ellie like she's just a regular kid, pre-outbreak. I don't know, maybe it's because he's not around him too often in Boston or just his controlling nature. But Ellie was born post-outbreak. She grew up in a different world than Joel did. Joel actually got to be a kid, Ellie did not. So I don't like to think of this as Ellie losing her humanity in a sense when she takes a life. I guess she really just did what she had to do, and that's kind of just Ellie's life from part 1 to part 2. As much as we know Ellie, it's really just her doing what she has to do to survive. What I find great here, though, is even though we've had some attempts and scenes, and I pointed out some moments that seems to be that Joel's warming up to Ellie, yeah, he's still that cold-blooded guy who jumps up in his sleep 20 years later. Joel's actually upset with Ellie here for not listening to him and staying upstairs, when in reality, if she did stay upstairs, he'd probably be dead. He'd definitely be dead. But Ellie shows up for Joel, and she actually shows him that she's capable in the world, and she actually even speaks up for herself.
You just hang back like I told you to.
Well, you're glad I didn't, right?
I'm glad I didn't get my head blown off by a goddamn kid.
You know what? No. How about, hey, Ellie, I know it wasn't easy, but it was either him or me. Thanks for saving my ass. You got anything like that for me, Joel?
We gotta get going.
Lead the way.
But her actually speaking up for himself and handling the guy trying to kill Joel does lead to him trusting her more, which is great. And another side note, Ashley Johnson as Ellie and Travis Baker as Joel. They're back and forth here. It's great, and it speaks volumes really to who Ellie is, how she's not going to hold her tongue and back down. But really great stuff here from both of them. I'm going to give them each kind of their own flowers here in a little bit, but yeah, great performances. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are now heading towards what I'd like to say is the third act and the final act of this video. Now, as we keep going state to state, we finally make it to Montana, and we finally reunite with Tommy, Joel's little brother from the intro.
Please tell me you're lost.
Oh, we didn't know the place was occupied. We're just trying to make our way through.
Through to where?
They're all right.
Wait, you know these people?
Know him. He's my goddamn brother.
Tommy.
Holy shit.
So he used to be a Firefly, so Tess told Joel that he might know where they'll be after we continue to be out of luck finding them. So as you chop it up with Tommy for a little bit, he has something for you. And I always like this section or this little scene because Tommy's in Montana and you were in Boston, but you guys both lived in Texas 20 years ago before all this happened. So at some point, Tommy traveled state to state back to his home and his brother's home and got this picture of Joel and Sarah.
It's a little faded, but it still looks pretty good.
I'm good.
You sure? I mean,
I've said I'm good.
And it's a small touch, but seeing how dangerous it is to travel like that, it actually shows how good of a brother Tommy really is and how much he cares for his brother and his niece. But on the contrary of Tommy being a great brother, Joel is just cold as ever. He's still just a cold man, you know what I mean? He turns on the picture of him and Sarah. He even shows how cold he is during their one-on-one combo later.
this place gives him a second chance. Gives us all a second chance. So why'd you leave Boston?
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
All right. I'll bite. Why bring her here?
I was supposed to deliver to the Fireflies. The way I figure they're your boys. You finish the job, you collect the whole damn payment.
I haven't seen a Firefly in years. What makes you think I'd do this for you?
This isn't for me, Tommy. This is for your damn cause.
My cause is my family now. You ain't talking about some walk in the park here.
Jesus, boy. Have Maria get some of your born-again friends to do it.
They got families too.
Tommy, I need this.
But I ain't taking that girl off your hands.
This is how you gonna repay me, huh?
Repay you?
For all those goddamn years I took care of us.
Took care. That's what you call it? I got nothing but nightmares from those years.
You survived because of me.
It wasn't worth it.
I bring you the cure from mankind, and you want to play the pissy little brother.
We ain't back in Boston. You lay your hands on me again, it won't end well for you.
But truly, it was never his plan to ask Tommy where they'll find the Fireflies. He's always wanted to just drop Ellie off and have Tommy take her the rest of the way. It just still shows how cold Joel is. The photo really just reminds him what's at risk if he allows himself to get too attached to Ellie. So this is a simple scene, but it's still masterful writing. Tommy's back and forth with Joel is equally as important here, as it shows us, the player, that Joel might have downplayed his past involvements in being the bad guy. He doesn't make it seem like he's good to Ellie, but the way Tommy speaks about it, he's clearly traumatized from the things they've done. And I genuinely think at one point he was scared of Joel for a little bit. But I think Joel shows off their past as the most traumatizing thing that he could go through already happened to him 20 years ago. Tommy, he's found light again in the world of Fireflies and his wife. Joel is still a cold man who's done nothing but mourned his daughter for 20 years. Now this is where I need to take a break for a second, and I'm just really going to give my 2 cents on everything. Because I've seen comments over the last few months and years that people believe this is a father-daughter story or a zombie story, this and that, when in fact I genuinely feel this story is about loss and nothing more. This is about loss and what losing a person dear to you can do to you, but also how a person's never too far gone to come back to their true selves. This story though, The Last of Us Part 1, is simply about Joel. This is Joel's story. Ellie is the main part of it as she's the reason we take this journey, but this is all about a man who lost his humanity in circumstances we talked about earlier. The reason Joel jumps up in the 20 years later cutscene is because he relives the night that he lost Sarah every night for the 20 years. The opening was literally a flashback. That was Joel's dream. He's been through so much that he undermines what Ellie has been through, which the player is actually yet to see anything of her backstory. But this actually leads us to what is by far my favorite and best scene in the entire series. Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker, I'm throwing roses now whilst giving you guys a standing ovation because this is the best scene in The Last of Us. Some of the best acting I've seen, and if you haven't, once again, I'm going to tell you to go watch the mocap performances because when I say this is the best acting in the game, these people were acting their asses off.
Is this really all they had to worry about? Boys, movies, deciding which shirt goes with which skirt. It's bizarre.
Get up. We're leaving.
And if I say no?
Do you even realize what your life means? Huh? Running off like that, putting yourself at risk? It's pretty goddamn stupid.
Well, I guess we're both disappointed with each other then.
What do you want from me?
Admit that you wanted to get rid of me the whole time.
Tommy knows this area.
Oh,
better
fuck
than...
that.
Well, I'm sorry. I trust him better than I trust myself.
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of? That I'm gonna end up like Sam? I can't get infected. I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
Well, we seem to be doing all right so far.
And now you'll be doing even better with Tommy.
I'm not her, you know.
What?
Maria told me about Sarah.
Ellie?
And
You are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else because the truth is I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad. And we are going our separate ways.
Get it together. We're not alone.
I got two walking in.
There's more inside already.
Once again, amazing performances. Joel continually just thinks Ellie is naive, stupid child. Ellie shows frustration towards Joel, and mainly because he's always short-minding her, to the point where she actually just calls him out in the conversation, straight up confronts him. She says she's not like Sam, can't get infected. And knowing that's not really the issue that's holding Joel back, obviously Joel didn't really know or care for Sam too much. She then just goes straight for the heart. She says she's not Sarah, straight up. Straight up says she's not a daughter. She opens up and it shows Joel that she cares for him. She's saying she doesn't want to go with anyone else. She only feels safe with him. But Joel, when he heard Sarah's name, he instantly just cut everything out. The rest is over, and that's the end of the combo. He's not hearing anything, which is just some of the greatest writing ever. It really, I mean, like I said, back when Tommy tried giving Joel a picture, that's the reason why he feels the need. He does not want to get connected. That literally reminded him of what's at risk here. And he doesn't want that to happen. So the fact that Ellie just straight up calls him out on that, 30 minutes later, 20 minutes later of gameplay, it's good stuff, man.
You asshole!
So we all know what happens next after this. I just wanted to point out that Ellie's actually now up 2-1 in terms of saving Joel's life. Never really counted it until making this video because he's clearly the adult protecting her throughout the journey across the country. But in terms of like actual events, she's the one who's up right now. She saved him twice after the college incident and he's getting impaled, all that good stuff. But right after the college incident, like I said, we kind of get cool hints to the sequel with the next section because we get to control Ellie after Joel's injury. Section's pretty good. It's nice. It's smooth. It's not the longest section, but it's great because it just shows us how smart Ellie really is. It shows how she's a good hunter and tracker. We already know that she can fight and defend herself. but she also has great ingenuity and intelligence that she shows off multiple times. As you know, we run into the Epstein guy in the chapter, and she outsmarts him a few times. So Joel is recovering and wakes up a little bit later. Begins looking for Ellie, as she's been nabbed by the Epstein guy. As we all know, she's capable of overhandling herself, as I just explained. So she does what she has to do. Ellie's life, doing what she has to do. So the Epstein dude, David, tries to assault her, and she has to defend herself in a brutal manner once again. Ellie just doing what she has to do. Sad stuff. But cinema, absolutely cinema, and great writing here. Let's check it out. This is a great scene.
I guess not. Just not your style, is it? You can try begging.
Fuck you.
You think you know me? Huh? Well, let me tell you something. You have no idea what I'm capable of.
Stop!
Fucking touch me!
Okay, it's me. Look. It's me.
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl. It's okay.
Joel.
It's okay.
So now Joel, baby girl, as he comforts Ellie, is pretty much everything. Kind of full circle in a relationship. Clearly, the circumstances are pretty grim, sad, but he's only ever called Sarah that. So this kind of lets us know that, yeah, Ellie is not Sarah. She didn't replace Sarah, but she definitely brought something back in Joel that definitely died 20 years ago. She took matters in her own hands, though, and she saved herself from David. I was talking really recently, about the Count and how she's up. But yeah, Joel did not save her in this scenario. It's not like the man came to save the helpless child, X, Y, Z, this, that, the third. Ellie defended herself fully from David and murdered him, which was well deserved. I guess we should have gave him another 50 hacks with the machete, to be honest. But Joel coming in and just trying to come for Ellie is literally just great work. Once again, Troy Baker, Abby Johnson. Whew. Now, everything I talked about has definitely been some of my favorite moments from the game, and some moments I feel make the game, and some moments that are just Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker's Ellie and Joel relationship at peak. I do like that in the final chapter of the game, Joel and Ellie both save each other as Ellie tries to get Joel out of the bus in the water, and Joel gives her CPR while being held at gunpoint. Both selfless for each other. Their relationship's at peak at this point. Probably won't see it be better than it is now, because we know shortly after all this the relationship does not go well, and the rest is kind of history. We're finally here at the Salt Lake Hospital, and we all know how it ends. Joel clears out the hospital after Marlene tells him that, hey, we're cutting the cure out of Ellie's brain. We're not just drawing blood. We're going to kill her. Joel's not letting that slide. We all know how that goes. But what's great about this ending, and this could be slightly of reach, is Marlene, who actually knew Ellie's mother, claims to have been her friend and actually cares for Ellie and knowing her since a baby, which she could in a weird way. But she's in the dark when we first see her. And Joel, who actually cares for Ellie and who is carrying Ellie out of there, away from death, is in the light. So I like to think, once again, two sides of the same coin. Marlene is in the darkness and shadow while claiming to care about Ellie, a child she wishes to kill without letting her have her own choice, which she may, and she definitely has good reason. I wouldn't say good reason, but possibility to save the world with the cure. And Joel, who's under the light, holding the girl who's almost died for numerous times, even in this instant while being held at gunpoint. Another great touch that I'm seeing here in this PS5 edition, this could be a bigger reach than the last one, but I don't think Joel is even listening to Marlene when she's giving her pleas to give up Ellie. I don't think his facial expressions show any understanding or any signs of defeat. I think no matter what, Joel is thinking of how he's going to escape there with Ellie, and if he's not leaving there with Ellie, then he's going to die. Marlene drops her guard thinking Joel isn't a cold-blooded guy. See, Joel is now a man who would do anything to defend that relit spark. That relit spark that died out 20 years ago. See, Joel can't wipe the last 20 years clean. He can't escape his past, his nightmares, and his horrors.
Wait.
Joel Miller is a man, but in Salt Lake, he is a man who's had 20 years to mourn, and he was not leaving that hospital a mourning man again.
You just come after her.
Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, as this is my first real long format video where I'm just talking about the topic like this, kind of for the whole time. I don't know how long this will end up being, but it's my first long one. I hope you're ready for the second one, because we have part 2 coming to you. If you did make it this far, comment down below, potato. I kind of feel like I found my groove, especially with the final chapter, as I would like to come back to the script, rewrite some sections, but everything's a lesson learned. So I guess if you enjoyed this breakdown of some scenes, maybe a reach here and there, and the overall greatness of The Last of Us, go ahead and drop a like, comment your favorite moments, and subscribe to the channel. Part 2. Oh yeah, speaking of part 2, with the second season coming out here in a day or two, depending on when this video's up, my thoughts on the first season is that the game alone is a masterpiece. I don't believe an adaptation could have done it justice. The emotional performances Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker give are just some of the greatest feats of chemistry between actors. And I believe that games can truly have acting masterpieces. I do love Pedro. I love him in Narcos, Game of Thrones, Mandalorian, and I like Bella in Game of Thrones. But in my humble opinion, truly in my humble opinion, neither of them could pull off Joel or Ellie. Or Joel and Ellie's performances in the game could not be replicated, to say the least. Even after replaying the PS5 game, especially, I truly believe this is a masterpiece. The show will get a 3rd season, so I hope the second one stays true to the source a little bit more than the first. I think everyone should play this game at some point, whether you're a fan of the show or you've never played the game before, only played part 2. I think this first game's a stellar game. So leave a like, check out my Twitch. See ya.
And she got bit too.
I struggled for a long time with surviving. And you, no matter what, you keep finding something to fight for. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear right now.
Swear to me. Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Liar!